time before they got him into the service.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Now maybe that's where I got my love of dance from.
Yeah.
Your what?
My love of
So
dance.
this was your father, Pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your father, your father's father.
No, my father.
Your father?
There was three of them. He has two brothers.
Man, do you want to watch a video?
Him and John
watch
Chambers
this video?
and
It's not the same video.
what
not.
was, I forget the other.
when did we
There were
get
three
this?
brothers and one sister.
It looks like the same video.
Did they all come back to Canada together?
See,
Yeah.
this is
Grandmother picked up the kids, sold everything,
Grandma.
and to Canada.
I know.
Really?
Very good.
The father died. Yeah. And same thing on my mother's
How
side.
did he use that?
The father died and the mother. You know, you gotta give the women so much guts.
Yeah.
Sold everything, kids, young
Get out of
kids,
here.
together, and go to Canada. Don't know one word of English.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Went to an English agency where England was recruiting people to Canada, promising land, 160 acres
Come to an
for
end.
$5 or $10 or something, and they thought that was heaven.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so they took.
So it must have been pretty bad
Oh,
to do that.
Wanda says that most of the stores were all run by Jews,
This is one of my
No,
favorite
and-
games to play.
and
my
the
second
people
Really?
had to work for the rich landowners, cutting grain with a sickle by
Yeah.
hand, because no binders.
Now I'm in
40 sheaves, and you're allowed to take one sheep home
What's that?
Is that right?
after you cut 40 sheep.
Jesse,
40 to 1.
Yeah, 40 to 1.
it's time for your bath.
So the kids never went to school because you didn't afford it.
Right.
You couldn't afford it. So only the rich did it. When they killed that Franz Josef got shot in Sarajevo, First World War broke out.
My goodness.
And they were able, yeah.
You want to see your
But they started long before they came at the turn of the century. Sure. Oh, it's quite a story, you know, when you really go back.
Yeah.
Those poor people.
So-
When they came to Canada and they saw 160 acres of bush, they thought they were in heaven,
Right.
you know?
Who did?
Yeah, sure.
So what year did they come over, Pop?
Turn of the century.
Jesse,
Turn of the century.
1902, 1901. Yeah.
Okay.
You got my balloon back?
Father first settled in Beausejour, in Ladywood,
Jesse,
north of Beausejour.
it's time for your bath.
Yeah.
You can show Nan a bit more after your bath if you turn it on.
So why
right
did
now.
they move?
Jesse, back. Now.
I think they moved because mother's sister moved to Arbor
Okay.
All right.
and brother. So they moved to Arbor. They sold out there and they moved to Arbor. So you see, in Arbor,
Oh, really?
we lived there, and across the road was mother's brother.
Amazing.
One half a mile over was another brother. Half a mile over was her sister.
Really?
So they're all together.
So there's 4 siblings that came across.
Yeah. And one of the sisters got left behind in Ladywood. She was married to a guy by the name of Lukey. And he was a general contractor. He did all the brushing between Winnipeg Beach and Riverton for the CP Rail. Yeah. His name was Lucky. Yeah.
So they all came from Ukraine together?
Together.
They came from the Ukraine, right?
Pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother came from Ukraine and Dad came from Austria.
But that was part of Austria, or your mother came from the Ukraine, and
Yeah.
your dad came from Austria,
Austria.
which was part of the Ukraine then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that could understand a little bit of Austrian language, and you know, those people
were
coming
tough
into
years.
this country, what they did, you got to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
You know, with no education and very little education.
Didn't know, and
Well-
didn't know the
Well,
language.
hard work goes a long way.
Oh,
They all had to come from tough circumstances because why would they move over here to
exactly.
160 acres
Mother
of
said
bush?
they used to go in the bush at night, send the kids out to pick up pieces of wood,
Wood,
so
yeah.
they have something to make fire in the daytime to cook.
Really?
That's how bad it was.
Because you couldn't chop down a tree.
No, oh no, there was nothing to chop down.
The tree would be green.
All the forests were everything owned by the rich, very rich, you know.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. And you worked only for the rich, yeah. She said that her neighbor was like a foreman on a horse, and watching people cutting grain by hand, and he had a whip. If someone didn't work, he says, "Listen, if you don't move, I'll hit you."
Right.
There's no laws, nothing.
And they had to tie the sheaves,
But they had to make the tie from the grain.
make their
With the
own
sheaf.
rope.
Oh,
from
really?
the grain,
Oh yes.
and then tie them together.
And the sheaves have to be certain size. They can't be just, you know.
Right. You can't go light.
No. Oh yeah. It's
So you'd have to make some sort of rope with the
with the grain.
grain stalks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we don't
And you
know
know
what
they
tough
lived like
times
the mother
are.
said.
Yeah.
They lived in a home that was all made with clay covered, and they would have maybe acre or two of land, and on the 2 acres of land they would raise a cow, and have a garden, and maybe grow all kinds of vegetables so they could survive during the winter, and work for the rich people and make whatever they can, and that's what there was no such thing as pension, nothing.
Of course not. Yeah.
And Austria controlled the whole Austrian Empire, you know. Oh yeah.